Okay, make sure you're paying attention. So, back of the head, okay? We have our pinch pot form. It's like this, it's hollow. And my face is kind of built back like a little bit past halfway. To make the back of the head, you're just gonna make like a pinch pot type shape. And you're just going to slip, score, and stitch that to the front of the face that you already made. So it's super important that you scratch this up a bunch, like this face that you've been working on for a few days. Scratch it, paint it. Same with this piece that you're adding on. Also, as far as like the shape goes, just generally speaking, like you probably can't see in the pictures that you've printed, like the back of your person's head, but you want to make sure that it looks kind of like the shape of a human head. So just remember, it's kind of like question marky, you know, at the back where it scoops under the back of the skull. So make sure that you're trying to make that happen with the piece that you stitch onto the back. All right, that's pretty rough, but you get the idea. Does anybody have questions about the back of the head piece? And this whole thing's getting kind of sloopy on here, but.
Is there any like gauge to make it the same size as like the right size, I guess?
Well, you just want to think about like a human skull. That's what I mean, like when I like question marky, like your chin obviously drops down much farther. When kids try and make a back of the head that's like the exact same size and shape as the front of the face, it looks like a giant Q-tip. You know what I mean? So just try and like make efforts to not let that happen.
And then do we attach it together and then attach it to the neck? Or do we attach
Okay, so that's a good question. So if you didn't hear that, Kaylee said, do you make like the back of the head, stitch that all together and then hook it on the neck, or do you hook it on the neck first? It does not matter. Whatever you think is easiest. I think it's easiest to hook the front of the face onto your neck ring first and then put the back of the head on, but it's whatever you want. One thing you need to be careful of if you are stitching the back on and then putting it on the neck is like a super tight seal. Like all of this ball is like hooked together super tight, because that's like a bomb in the kiln that'll blow up. So like what I'm doing right here, like this is hooked nowhere near good enough to explode. There's like gaps in this. So if you hook them together and you want to take like extra caution, before you hook that onto your neck ring, you should get a needle tool or whatever and just make a hole into the bottom of the neck. Okay? But that's like, most people are not going to stitch that together tightly enough to have it form like a crazy seal. But if you're worried about that, then make a hole. Okay? All right, let's make an ear. So your ear, you want to wait until you get the back of the head on, and your ear is going to follow up a jaw line, right? This is all kind of sloopy and kind of a melty face, but have a look at this really quick. Kind of right there, I guess. So generally speaking, a person's ear is going to go between top of their eye and bottom of their nose, and it's going to follow the jaw line. Of course, there are exceptions to that, right? But we just want to avoid this, like putting an ear on that is way too close to the eye. Like that's exaggerative, but some people will put an ear right there, and it's just way too far forward. So you want to try and figure out like where your jawline's going to be. And you're just going to start by making like an earish shape that we're going to carve. So I'm going to put this ear on right here. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Maya, this is for you. Also look at the back of this ear. You need to roll a coil and put it behind the ear. And if you know, or if you don't know what I'm talking about, feel the back of your ear right now. It's that part that like hooks into your head. No. Back here, like behind your ear. Yeah, right there. So you're just gonna stitch this on, and hopefully you can see your person's ears in your picture, but a lot of you won't be able to see it like good enough to like actually make it, and I don't think that that even really matters too much for an ear. Most people's defining feature is not their ears. For some people it is. Like the best example I could think of earlier to say somebody like if you get their ears wrong might not make it look like the person. Somebody we all know, President Obama, right? His ears are a defining feature. If you get the ears wrong, it could be questionable. Wait, who is that? But most people, like if I'm making a sculpture of Femke, but I'm looking at Haley's ears, most people aren't gonna be like, oh, you got the ears wrong. Because those are maybe not defining features for most people, okay? So, Canyon, will you stop doing that for a minute? So what I usually suggest, unless your ears are a very defining feature for your person, is just making your shape, making sure that you get it on the person's face correctly, and then looking at somebody that you sit by. Like I'm gonna look at Haley's ear right now. And then you're just going to go about carving. Haley's like, oh great, I didn't even get ready for this. I didn't know I was gonna be the ear model. You're just gonna go about carving the shapes of the ear. And really, it's not like a ton of effort, so don't feel stressed about this. And it is easiest, I think, to look at somebody that you're sitting by. And if your person's ears are a defining feature for them, then you better find some pictures that will help you if yours are not helpful. Like if you can't see the ears that well in the pictures. All right, that's pretty general, but have a look. Also make sure that you're paying attention to what the ears look like from the front and the side, right? Some people's ears are more like this, okay? And some people's aren't, so you should check that. Make sure that you're turning everything, like your face around and looking at your pictures so that you can see side view and front view. What we definitely want to avoid on ears is this.